Episode 3 begins with a flashback to 5 months ago. We see Haring arrive in class and ask Minji, "Can I borrow your phone? I was playing a game, and my phone got taken away. Please lend me yours." Minji initially refuses, but Haring insists, "I'm your best friend." After much pleading, Minji hands over her phone. Haring looks at it and remarks, "This phone is so ugly, even my dad has one like this." She laughs, insults Minji, and walks away. Just then, Minji notices other girls nearby who have new phones. The next scene shows Minji at home with her father. She prepares a meal and asks, "How is work going? I'm heading to the store, do you need anything? Would you like a massage? I'm going to start doing the dishes from now on since I'm growing up." Her father understands and asks how much money she needs. Minji replies, "I don't want money, I just want a new phone. I've been using this one for 3 years, and it's going to die soon." Her father says, "All right, I'll get you one after it dies." She refuses, explaining, "Everyone at my school swaps their phones after a year, some even after just a month." Her father shows her his own phone and says, "Look at the kind of phone I have." She tells him, "Fine, you should just buy a new phone for yourself," and walks into her room, upset. In the next scene, she returns home from school to find her father watching TV. She enters her room and discovers that he has bought her a new phone, complete with a heart-shaped keychain. Overjoyed, she comes out and tells her father, "I love you so much." Her father smiles and says the same back to her. Let's move to the final scene of the second episode. Kim picks up the phone and asks, "Is this Minji?" But the person on the other end hangs up. The next scene shifts to the headquarters, where 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝗱𝗶𝗁 asks his team if they have found any leads on Kim. They reply in the negative. Just then, an agent arrives and reports that Kim has recently been arrested and is currently at the police station. 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝗱𝗶𝗁 decides they should go there and reassigns the surveillance team to gather details about Kim. Meanwhile, Kim is in a taxi. He tries calling Minji but gets no response. We then see Sang, a member of the surveillance team, receiving instructions via a call and setting off with her bag. Mr. Lim also receives a call with instructions and begins gathering his weapons. Gang Chan returns home, where his wife mentions that she doesn't know what is going on with Ha-ri lately. She skipped school again today. When his wife tried to approach her, Ha-ri shouted at her and told her to leave. Gang Chan recalls a moment when Ha-ri had asked him what Minji's father did for a living. He instructs Nam to find out what is happening with Minji. Nam complies, entering the security room and hacking into Ha-ri's account. He discovers she had been chatting with her ex-boyfriend, Minho, telling him she missed him but was being harassed by a girl named Minji. Minho replies, asking where he should meet her so he can teach the girl a lesson. Finally, we see Gang Chan entering Kim's house and observing his surroundings. He spots Minji's school ID card. But as soon as he steps outside, he sees Jin-chul there. Jin-chul looks at the gun and taunts him, saying, "You can't kill me with that." A fight ensues between the two. Jin-chul starts beating him up. Meanwhile, Gang-shul is completely disoriented. He fires bullets, but Jin-chul uses the other man as a human shield. Left with no other option, Gang-shul is forced to flee. Jin-chul wants to pursue him but is unable to do so. He mutters to himself, "I don't even have my phone with me, I need to call Kim and tell him everything." Inside the house, we see Mr. Lim, who has been watching the whole scene. He later calls Gang-shul and explains what happened. "I think someone has come from the north with the intention of killing Kim." Gang-shul insists they must find Kim as soon as possible, wondering why he had been arrested and taken to the police station. Just then, his subordinate locates Kim, reporting that he is at a taekwondo studio. They all head in that direction and enter the studio, where Han-soo is training his students. He spots Kim and immediately realizes why he might be there. He tells his students to step outside, and they comply. He then speaks to Kim, asking, "What's the problem? You've never come here like this before." Kim reveals everything, that Minji has been kidnapped and that they claimed she was dead. He adds, "I even received a call from Minji's phone, but the person on the other end didn't say a word. I know I should throw away my phone because they are tracking me, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm sorry, you got dragged into all this because of me." But he replied that he didn't mind. Let's start by tracing Minji's phone. Just then, we see 𝗍𝗁 arrive with his men. He was holding a child captive. Kim had already been hiding there. 𝗍𝗁 asks, "Where is Kim? Seeing you reminds me of the old days." Kim puts on his gloves, knowing exactly what needs to be done. He signals to 𝗖𝗄, telling him to be ready to fight when the moment comes. 𝗍𝗁 claims that Kim has violated the contract. 𝗖𝗄 tells 𝗍𝗁 to let the child go, but he refuses. The child kicks him and manages to escape. Afterward, our two heroes engage in a prolonged fight with the thugs. They use a gas cylinder to create a smokescreen, blinding the thugs, and make their way to the roof. Although men were already waiting for them there, they couldn't stop them either. The heroes use ropes to rappel down, get into their car, and drive away, though not before slashing the thugs' tires. They arrive at a new location where 𝗖𝗄's car is parked. He turns on his system to try and trace Minji's phone. Kim apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry, the SMD is after you now because of me." But the other replies, "It doesn't matter. If my son had been kidnapped, you would have helped me just the same." They move on, and 𝗖𝗄 attempts to trace Minji's phone again, but suddenly, a call comes in. Kim says, "I can't answer it, they might be tracking us." However, 𝗖𝗄 suggests the phone might belong to Minji and offers to answer the call. He does so, and it turns out to be Jin-chul on the line. Jin-chul shouts, asking where he is, and explains that a man from the north had come to kill Kim. He was about to handle the situation, but the man fled. He believes Minji's life is in danger and insists they must go to the school. Just then, 𝗖𝗄 locates Minji's phone and tells Jin-chul to meet him there. Meanwhile, we see Na meeting Minho and handing him money. He asks what happened, and Minho reveals that Kim is no ordinary person. He had bullet wounds, and Minho claims to know nothing else. Although Nam asks who Minho works for, Minho refuses to say. Later, Nam calls Gang Chan and reports everything. Gang Chan realizes his daughter is involved and orders him to destroy all evidence. Nam complies and kills Minho. In the next scene, Gang Chan arrives near Minji's school. He sees some students bullying another boy, 𝗍𝗶𝗰𝗍𝗲. He approaches them and asks where Minji is, but the bullies tell him they are busy and to leave. Just as he is about to go, 𝗍𝗶𝗰𝗍𝗲 speaks up, saying he knows her, she is in his class. The other kids tell him to leave, but Gang Chan strikes out and demands to know her whereabouts. 𝗍𝗶𝗰𝗍𝗲 explains that she has been suspended from school but mentions a friend, Ha Ryong, who can track her location via her phone. They then go inside the school, where Shang speaks to a teacher, inquiring about Minji. She is informed that she has been suspended from school. Sang mentions hearing about an incident of violence at the school, something that had even brought the student's father there, but the teacher denies that anything of the sort happened. Sang starts to leave, however, she fails to notice Gang Shan, who walks right past her. Inside, we see Ha Ryong in the nurse's office. Gang Shan arrives, grabs her face, takes her phone, and asks, "I hear you're Minji's friend. Can you track her location?" She agrees. Sang comes outside, gets into the car, and speaks with Mr. Lim, who is already waiting there. She explains the situation to him. Mr. Lim notes that Minji's father will likely be wherever she is, so they can find her. He spots Gang Shan walking in front of the car but chooses not to mention it to her. Gang Shan speaks to Assemblyman Shin again, asking why he was summoned. Shin explains that Gang Shan's reconstruction project will render a vast area barren, and he needs significant funding for it. Gang Shan tells him not to worry about the money, just to let him know the required amount. Shin mentions that some assembly members might oppose the plan. Gang Shan replies, "Fine, send me their list, handling the rest is my job." Later, he speaks with Nam, who reveals that Minji has gone missing and her father is searching for her. Nam adds, "We tried to check her background, but our access was denied. I think something is amiss." In the next scene, we see Kim arriving at a building with Han-soo, who has indicated that Minji's phone is located on the third floor. The two of them enter the premises and are confronted by a group of men who tell them to leave, insisting they have no business there. Kim refuses to leave, stating he needs to see their boss. Just then, a long-haired man steps forward and threatens Kim with a knife. Kim grabs the man by his long hair and tears it right off his head. The other men are terrified by this display. Kim declares he is going inside and warns them of the consequences if anyone interferes, threatening to tear them to pieces. Although Kim moves past them, the thugs ignore his warning. However, 𝗙𝗁 is there to fight them off, allowing Kim to proceed inside. Inside, the boss is watching everything on surveillance cameras and orders his associate, Hung Min, to kill the intruder, stating that no one is allowed there without his permission. Hung Min confronts Kim, telling him to leave and warning that, unlike the others, he is willing to kill. Kim taunts him, asking if he knows how to box, and then knocks him out with just a couple of punches. Kim moves further inside, where he encounters more men and a large number of phones. He searches for Minji's phone but doesn't find it, however, he spots it in the boss's pocket. The boss's henchmen rush at Kim but are unable to stop him. He takes them all down one by one. He then approaches the boss and demands to know where he got the phone. He takes the phone and turns it on, seeing a picture of Minji and remarking on how she had kept him up at night. He even starts licking the photo. Enraged, Kim begins to beat the boss severely, leaving the man critically injured. He starts bleeding. 𝗙𝗁 witnesses this, stops Kim, and tells him not to do that. They need to find out where Minji is. He asks where Minji is, but the boy claims he doesn't know. 𝗙𝗁 then asks where he got the phone. The boy recalls meeting a homeless person on the road who had the phone. We see that the boss's men had brought the phone to him. The boss asks what kind of girl's phone it is, saying he wants to see bold photos. He picks up Minji's phone and looks at the pictures but remarks that there are only a few. He checks the call history, finding only her dad's number. At that moment, the boss had accidentally called her father. When Kim asked, "Is this Minji?" the person on the other end said nothing and hung up. Kim asks, "What did you say?" regarding the single number. Later, the boy remembers there was another number, 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝗱𝗏. He thinks she was a friend, though he wouldn't call her one. Having read their chats, he could tell 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝗱 was using Minji, taking her phone, clothes, and other things. Kim reflects on what his daughter must have gone through at school, how she was bullied, and how he couldn't do anything about it. 𝗙𝗁 sees this and tells him there is no time to get emotional, he can apologize to his daughter after finding her. Just then, Kim realizes someone is approaching from behind. Before he can turn around, a gun is pointed at him. It is Gang Sang, who tells Kim that fake 66 inches is there. The episode concludes with an epilogue showing director Jong speaking to Kim. Kim had likely gone to North Korea to carry out an operation but was captured. He asks director Young, "Why aren't you killing me?" Young questions him about his name, age, and family, but Kim remains silent, insisting he cannot betray his country. Young proposes a deal. They should help each other. He then summons a young man named Jin Chul. Jin Chul asks Young who the man is, wondering if he should be considered a friend, but Young replies that it is too early to say, they first need to assess his skills. He instructs Jin Chul to spar with him but not to kill him. The two step outside to fight. Jin Chul tells him not to get himself killed. Kim replies that he won't, as he has made a promise to a friend. When Jin Chul asks his name, Kim initially says, 73, but then corrects himself, saying, "No, it's 66. That marks the end of episode 3. Alright guys, we'll meet again in episode 4. Bye for now.